Hey everyone, it's Kristen. Today we're going to be talking about Uncanny X-Men 365. Um, it's another Christmas story. This one's a little, I guess, weak in terms of story, but Colossus, he's one of my favorites. I mean, I especially like this story because of like it talks about his drawings and stuff, and I always loved that they had this basically huge metal guy who was super strong to be so artistic and sensitive. I thought that was a really cool clash of identities. Um, so basically, Colossus is sleeping. He's been sketching. And, it starts off, 'twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring unless, and it says Peter, and he's like, what? And it says, remember me. Um, this voice, this disembodied voice. And he's like, what's going on? Like, how am I supposed to remember if I don't know who you are? I've started drawing this woman, but she doesn't have a face. Like, I can't see her face in my head. I don't know who it is. So that's how it starts. And Storm's like, what's all the commotion? What's going on? Like, he's like, I've been, basically, he tells her what's going on, and she's like, oh, you're seeing things, you need to cut back on caffeine. And he's like, okay. And then he hears the voice again. He's talks to Storm, he draws some more. He hears the voice, like, he thinks it's outside, so he goes outside, and Wolverine has moved out into a cabin on the grounds, and his friend Puck from Alpha Flight is there, and they're just, they're visiting and stuff, and Gambit's there. He's back from Antarctica, where he was held on trial for his crimes, like his involvement in the slaughter of the Morlocks, because he led Mr. Sinister to the Morlock tunnels, and Mr. Sinister, along with the Marauders, slaughtered them. And so he was put on trial for his crimes there. And he had been gone a while, and he just now came back. And anyway, X-Men has such a long history. There's so many stories, so many aspects of it. So his drawing was gone, Colossus, and then he's like, wait, my drawing's back? Like, I don't understand. Basically, here's his drawing, and it has a story on it now. This is the Ice Princess. Once upon a time, in the lands to the east, lived the Ice Princess. She was heir to the wind and the snow, and thought to be the most beautiful girl in her empire, until she lost her face. Her piercing silver eyes, her graceful arching brow, her delicate scarlet lips, all gone with the rise of the morning moon. But where could it be? She shrieked. In her mind, of course, because she doesn't have a face. A girl without a face is a monster. The king of the crickets has it, answered a voice that floated on the frozen air. But as the Ice Princess glanced about, there was no other mouth around. She was completely alone. So Colossus is like, what the heck? Who wrote on my drawing? What does this mean? I don't understand. And he still sees, the disembodied, like, basically glowing, and hears the voice. So he runs into Kitty Pryde in the hallway, Shadowcat. And, they talk, and she tells him the same thing, basically. Oh, you've had too much caffeine. You need to cut back. And Nightcrawler comes in. Vamp, that's his signature sound that his teleportation makes. And he has come back with a Christmas tree, because it was in the dumpster, because no one has bought it, so they just threw it in the dumpster, and he's like, I rescued it. And Kitty was like, we shouldn't go without celebrating Christmas. And Peter is like, well, but you're Jewish, you do not celebrate Christmas. And she's like, well, not as a religious holiday, but I still enjoy the festivities, like the decorations and the songs and the presents. So I thought that was kind of cool that they threw that in there, that even though she's not Jewish, like, she still can respect I mean, and that's all what it's about, is like respecting each other's traditions and holidays. I mean, if you just celebrate Christmas and you tell someone Merry Christmas, you know, they don't have to say it back. They can say Happy Holidays, or like, you know, Happy Hanukkah or anything. I mean, and people shouldn't get offended by that. It's what you celebrate. You might as you just want to share it. You're happy. That's what you celebrate. So anyway, I thought that was cool that they added that in there. And then here's the second drawing that he did with more words on it. And it says, "Why have you come before me?" chirped the king of the crickets. And the ice princess thought, "I want my face back. And a little voice told me that you took it." But with no mouth to speak and no voice to sound, she couldn't say that at all. She moved her arms and waved her hands and shrugged her shoulders. "I don't know what you mean," cried the king. The ice princess felt like crying, but with no eyes she couldn't. Upset, the ice princess began to walk away. "You know," called the king of the crickets, "this would be much easier if you had a face. Perhaps I could give you one of mine." The ice princess stopped still. Her frozen heart raced. She turned back to his highness and thought of a smile. So, he sees the lights again and he follows them, and finally follows them up to the attic where he sees his sister, Ileana, or Magic. And she died of the legacy virus at this point. But of course, like we've talked about, no one in comic books stays dead. So obviously she didn't stay dead. But she contracted the legacy virus and she died. It's a virus that only affects mutants, and it makes them really sick, and they eventually die from it. So basically, she had put this teleporting ring, like anchored it to the mansion, and so she was trying to get him to come up to the attic so that she could actually talk to him, so that because that's where her presence is the strongest, in conjunction to this teleportation ring. I mean, yes, she's dead, obviously, but it's more of, like she says, as to put it, more of a memory. She's more of a memory. She's not an imposter. She's not a demon. She's not anything like that. She just, that's where, it's like a physical imprint, she was there and she's connected to there. Kind of like a ghost, I guess, if you believe in that sort of thing. And he asked her, "Well, why have you come back?" And she's like, "Because I want you to," and then she stops. And he's like, "What? What is wrong? Tell me how I can help you." And she's like, she goes into the spiel about, "I need you to do something for me, but the powers that be won't let me tell you what it is. So I just need you. I just could only pick one word to tell you what it is, and I chose remember." And he's like, "Oh, I don't understand." And then she says, "Well, get the picture." So basically what happened is, like, when he moved back, he put her picture away. Like, he, took it with all his things, but he forgot to put it back out. So that's basically what she was telling him, is like, "Hey, I want you to remember me. I want you to, take the picture out of storage and basically put it up." Although she said she wasn't allowed to say it, but, on like the second page, she says, "Remember me," even though supposedly she wasn't allowed to say that. But anyway, whatever. It's, it's a story. So basically, this page says, "'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, though some people were still about." See? And, there they are. They decorated the tree, and they're like, "Peter, we're waiting for you. We're tired of waiting. So come on." And so this is Morrow. She's a Morlock. She was really close to Callisto, the leader of the Morlocks, and she basically, bones grow out of her, like just in random places. She can't control it at this point. She just, basically it's really tough for her because they just grow uncontrollably. She can't control it. Like she pulls them out of her body and uses them as weapons, but she can't control it. So, basically, you know, Peter says, you know, I have gifts for you guys. They were not purchased, but they are of me. I would like each of you to choose, you know, a drawing of mine that suits you. And Morrow says, wait, me first. I got something for you that I did. Well, we did. I can't draw, but I wanted to say thanks for that cool picture you drew of me back in issue 361. I actually have that. Hold it out. See? He sketched a picture of her because in this issue, her thing is like she hates herself because she's not pretty. She's you know, she's not the normal pretty. And here she is like admiring all these pictures of, you know, beautiful people, and she can never be that herself because she has, you know, bones growing out of her everywhere. But Colossus drew this, you know, like really pretty picture of her and said, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So anyway, that's what she's referring to. And then here's the last picture in the end of the story. So it was her drawing on his pictures all this time. The king of the crickets checked his vast bounty, and there inside he saw the most beautiful face of all. Is the face befitting of a princess, he said as he placed it on the icy young girl's head. And as her face sparkled and came alive once more, tears melted from her eyes, and she exclaimed, "That's because I am a princess, you bone-headed bug." That's kind of random. Like, I remember when I first read that, I didn't expect her to say that. I just expected her to be grateful, but apparently she's like a princess in the, I'm like the really spoiled sense. So the icy princess was happy at last. She called everyone she knew around her, and they celebrated the one thing that mattered more than having a pretty face, having friends who are more like family. And then Morrow says, P.S. I do not look like this. Because see, he drew her there. Because he drew all the X-Men. You can see them all there. And of course, the ice princess right here, that's his sister Eliana. So that's who he was drawing. And he couldn't figure out who it was. And so basically that whole issue was just him trying to figure out that. And like I said, it's not one of the strongest stories, Christmas stories, but I liked it just because it was different. And it's about Colossus and his art and stuff, which I think is really cool because, I mean, I like to draw. And in case you're wondering, this thing that's over here, that's Storm, like issue 289, I think, the cover. Like, I drew that. I never finished it because I don't know, I just never did. But I like to draw, and so I kind of like related to him in that sense, and so I thought it was just kind of a cool story that they did. Something different, a little bit different, but anyway, I think I have maybe one more holiday issue that I wanted to talk about, X-Men holiday issue, so I hope you'll join me for that, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!